basketball game finally here at the Smart Araneta Coliseum. Rain things on together with Melissa Newsome here on One Sports, the Pilipinas Live app. Bridget Santos spins, shoots it in the ring, and she barely had enough visibility.
Bridget Santos gets the first bucket of the game. Look at that step through.
Marga loses her footing, loose ball. Now it's in the hands of the white shirts. Ambos gives it over to Eka. Soriano, the block by Pingol.
And this is something we've seen in the elimination round when these two teams went up against each other. When it's a fast-paced game, it seems to favor UST more. They like that helter-skelter type of basketball.
Yeah, but you know, they're just that too. Soriano fires a three, gets that to the bottom of the net. You know, it usually ices out the finalistic. But this time around, Marga Villanueva answers right back, and the celebration on the big crowd for the women's scene. Pastrana, Kayabyab, Sorada, and a couple of players checking into our ball game for the first time, but Oma Onyanwa just escapes and gets the finish, gets that rebound. Aloha slows things down. She goes to Sorada. Sorada attacking that Pastrana defense. Midi is good here for Angel Sorada. Kayabyab, and that's her second. So very reminiscent against that game against Ateneo where she got into foul trouble pretty early on. Kayabyab looking at her options. She goes to Sorada, and that connection was built up just like this last play by Tine and Angel.
Like you mentioned, easy game, and that's why they get a lot of shot attempts. Oftentimes, when you look at their field goals, they get about 20 more than NU averages.
Couldn't get it in. Now with Sorada. Medina finds herself wide open and gets that bucket in.
They know the history behind these two teams.
And you know that they are going to work hard in every single possession, just like that. Look at Angel and Dingy.
They're getting to the rack too easy.
Yeah, and lucky for NU, UST has blown that layup multiple times already. You know, but that's going to be a problem once you start to connect, just like the connection.
Marga off of this missed shot, and Garcia battling it out on the inside, cleaning up the job.
Again, Rada almost pickpocketed there. Coach D.A. very upset. The shot, the basket, and the three is good by Bonnie Solis. This is the first time, or maybe one of the first times, probably, that in a finals game, one full quarter, no team called for a timeout.
So
yeah,
maybe they didn't call no timeouts, but both of these teams call minimal timeouts. Yep. Because I mentioned they're instinctual players. They don't like to disrupt the flow of the game.
Take a look at that. Eka Soriano just bodying has it. Villanueva, spin move, no. The tap there, the forward pass, Sherba on a foot race, gets that one in.
And on the side of
her defender, she is that veteran here for UST. And on the other end, the sophomore with the touchdown in Karil Sherry. Excellent scorers. And also they're very, you know, maangas. Merong swag yung mga yan. But the shot falls in on the side of UST, and now our game is tied at 19 with 7:47 seconds remaining. Ball on the floor, but take a look at this.
Karil Sherba on the inside. You know,
Pineda has it. Bree goes to Bridget. Bridget for three. Extremely confident. She knew that was going to...
Good ball swing. Santos coming off of that down pick. Santos was late on that closeout. She got lost in the defensive rotation.
But even when we finished that sentence,
wide open for three, but Angel Sorada doing what she's been doing all season long. She is not
over to Kayabyab. Dine. Beautiful signature move there by Kayabyab. But she is leading her team with 6. Sorada finds herself wide open. A beautiful soft experience playing against bigger, more talented players. So she knows how to play through these kinds of situations. The question is, will her team respond with her as they go up against the Pastrana was just shooting back to back to back.
Oh, how can I forget? That was where she had 6 3-pointers in that game.
But this time around, it's Siza Brig who gets... Look at this.
I'd like to see more
here in the first half. Santos' float game is pure.
There's also ball movement, bringing in the defense, and then you can get open 3-pointers. And you shooting relatively well.
The heave. Loose ball. Sherba has it. Karel up and in.
And that was one of their defensive possessions. They rotated appropriately.
Ooh, Marga Villanueva. Arena every time NU and UST face each other in the finals. Ken Pastrana up and in. What a move there by Ken. Coach DA, but look at this. Ken Pastrana, so many defenders in her face. And you know, that's why it's so interesting the new matchup natin, because a lot of players have very similar playing styles as Angel. Sorada confidently gets that one up and in with the foul. You know, but we were talking about it earlier, but before that, look at this. Angel Sorada with a jumping, extending CJ Maglupay on her, no problem. So that gave NU an extra point thanks to Marga Villanueva's free throw, but Karel Sherba just, you know, if NU does one thing, after that lull against Carl Antimo, the leader of that statistical race, unofficial MVP, but Eka Soriano was surely the MVP of season 85. That in Villanueva trying to clean it up, couldn't get that. Soriano going up against Kayabyab, couple of drop passes, and the bucket is good for Eka Soriano. Soriano on the move, Eka up and in, back-to-back baskets for the graduating Sherba
to get this easy 2 in transition.
Who else will make a run? But their team captain, Eka Soriano, starting off that scoring spree.
So we can see just how quickly a few possessions can shift the momentum.
Kayabyab underneath gets that bucket in, and we are tied yet again.
A lot of contact there from Oma.
You know, and that's the thing. The lulls in between.
So easy bucket off of the inbound for CJ Maglupay.
Sherba now has it. She releases. Doesn't get that in. Oma. Jumper is good.
Go deep in their bag.
Kayabyab rolls through the rim. Doesn't get it in. Santos gets that lay up in. 16-5 here in quarter number 3. Dindy Medina silences the US. It's now in the hands of Bring. Kayabyab, bucket, and 1. And what slowly going over to the side of UST, but Kayabyab takes matters into her own hands.
An excellent recognition.
Pastrana has it. Kayabyab versus Pastrana. Good defense there by Tin. The blow by Ambos. What a shot there by
Options after that entry pass.
But in this game, or rather in this sequence, now it's NU's turn to orchestrate something here. They go to Kayabyab. Tin releases. Sorada this time. And you don't see Angel, so that the ambush just escaping in that last sequence. Carl and Pingol bring. Alterado has it. Kayabyab crosses. Kayabyab goes over to Saiza. Bring for 3. Gets that in!
Arena would have went off if that shot went in, because now NU on the little run of their own.
But before the run of NU, Karel Sherba releases. No. Villanueva right there and gets NU another 2. Channel and the Pilipinas Live app. My name is Ratings On, together with Melissa Yusa. Mel, this game has been as tight as possible. Just a 1-point lead here for NU. How did that happen in the first 3 quarters?
But it has been back and forth.
And you know, it's because of sequences like that where UST just gets those defensive stops, forcing NU to commit.
Bridget Santos getting a hand on that ball, reading the passing lane. Easy 2 for her.
Just couldn't get the finish. Forward pass, Angel against 2. Bonnie Solis. Look at
Not able to convert on that one, but what about this pass from Marga up ahead to Serrata and that extra pass?
And you can say the same thing about UST.
And I'm loving that the Lady Bulldogs are keeping up with the pace that UST is playing at.
Ken Pastrana, I mean, what can you
Wonderfully for the Lady Bulldogs, but Ken Pastrana, we already know what she has in her bag.
Yes. Pastrana fades, jumper, beautiful move by Ken, the Lady Bulldogs.
This is good defense by Aloha on Kent, but just better offense by Kent there.
These 2 coaches are going head-to-head here in our first game of the finals. And Marga Villanueva ties it all up at 7. Serrada goes back to Marga. Villanueva. Pingol back to Marga for 3. Marga Villanueva!
And Marga has been shooting extremely efficient here in this ballgame today, so continue to take that shot.
Eka Soriano stops the bleeding, gives UST a Biab. Attacks. They go over to Saiza. Pingol gets that jumper in, and what a time for Pingol to come alive. 1-point ball game. Betano attacks and gets that one in.
Excellent backdoor cut. Beautiful finish from Aloha. But then on this, they called her for a foul right here.
With it, Kent against the smaller Solis. Pastrana, what a pass, what a finish. That's going on the highlight reel.
This is the highlight I wanted to see again. Kent Pastrana behind the back, or over the head, behind the back.
Angel, speed advantage, and gets that shot with full composure. Whatever you want to call it, it worked.
It worked.
And Angel Serrata just on the other end. And the rest of USC need a quick one. The total denial on Pastrana, and that will do it for this ball game. The NU Lady Bulldogs hand over the first loss of UST in season 88 in a very dramatic fashion. Melissa, this game has gone back and forth all 40 minutes, but the winner of game number 1 is NU.